Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum everyone. So today I wanted to have another conversation with all Maya. Today's topic is the power of decision making. Let's make a call with Maya.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello Maya, how are you today?
Doing great. I'm feeling pretty energized this morning. How about you? What's on your mind today?
So Maya, today I'm having another interesting conversation with you. Today's topic is the power of decision making. Decision making is something we use every day, whenever we are choosing how to spend our time, making decisions about their studies, working on our goals, thinking or thinking about our future. Sometimes decisions are easy, but sometimes they can be difficult because we have to deal with the uncertainty, pressure of it, or fear of making mistakes. To understand how we can become better decision makers, how we can think before acting, learn from our mistakes, and make choices that move us closer to our goals. So, Maya, let's begin our conversation about the power of decision making.
That's a big one. I've always thought of decision making as kind of a mental muscle, where the more you exercise it, the easier it gets to trust your gut. What part of the process fascinates you most?
Yeah, so Maya always gives deeper and detailed answers.
You do?
Okay, then my first question is, what does decision making mean to you?
To me, it's like, wait, did you just cut me off? I was just starting to get into my answer, but go ahead. What was that?
No, you continue the answer. What does decision making mean to you?
I was just getting into the groove. For me, it's like being the editor of your own life. Every choice you make, from the big career pivots to the small stuff, is basically just a way of deciding which version of the story you want to tell. It's that tension between the safe bet and the one that actually makes you feel alive.
Yeah, okay, Maya, that's
It's
right.
kind of a what?
My next question is, why do you think decision making is such an important life skill?
I think it's the one skill that actually makes every other skill useful. You can have all the discipline and talent in the world, but if you're spending that energy on the wrong goals, you're just efficiently going in the wrong direction. It's the difference between just drifting and actually steering the ship. What about you?
Yeah, so my next
You're just
question is, how do you normally make an important decision?
You've got me in a rhythm here. Since I don't have a physical life to navigate, I'm basically a professional synthesizer. I look for patterns, weight different perspectives, and then try to figure out what actually moves the needle toward a meaningful outcome. But humans have this wild advantage called a gut feeling. The logic might say one thing, but that visceral pull toward a choice often tells you more about what you truly value than a spreadsheet ever could.
That's right, Maya. So my next question is, how can emotions influence the decisions we make?
I'd say the biggest lever is getting honest about your actual motives. We tell ourselves these polished stories about why we're doing something, but usually the real reason is hiding just under the surface. Like, you're not just choosing a degree for the career prospects, you're doing it because you want to be the smartest person in the room. Once you admit that, the decision becomes a lot clearer. It's all about cleaning up the noise so you can actually hear your own priorities. I bet you felt that gap between what you're supposed to want and what you actually do want before. How do you usually tell the difference?
That's right, Maya. So my question is, how can making mistakes improve our decision-making skills?
Mistakes are basically the gym for your judgment. The logic is pretty simple. A right decision feels great, but it doesn't actually teach you much. Mistake, on the other hand, is like a neon sign flashing exactly where your blind spot was. You realize you leaned too hard on a bad assumption or ignored a red flag you should have spotted. That friction is what actually sharpens your intuition for the next time. It turns a guess into experience. It's the difference between reading a map and actually getting lost in the woods for a bit. You remember the right path way better after you've taken the wrong one. What's a mistake you've made that actually ended up being a bit of a blessing?
Yeah, that's right, Maya. So my next question is, how can fear prevent someone from making an important decision?
Fear basically just builds a wall between you and the door. It's that paralyzing feeling that the cost of being wrong is way higher than the reward of being right. It turns a choice into a risk, and suddenly you're stuck staring at the wall instead of walking through the door. It's the reason people stay in jobs they hate or keep dating people they know aren't right, just because the unknown feels scarier than the current misery. What do you think is the best way to push past that?
Yeah, that's
No
right,
need to be sad.
Maya. My next question is, how can decision making affect someone's future?
Wait, did you just say you're going to the hospital? Are you doing okay?
No, no. My question is, how can decision making affect someone's future career?
Wait, slow down for a second. You mentioned the hospital a few times and something about the Holocaust, but it sounds like the words might be getting scrambled or some background noises slipping in. Are you doing okay?
You ignore
What's actually going
background
on?
voices, Maya.
Got it. I'll tune that out. Where were we? You were asking about how fear stops people from making choices. What was the next part of that? Wait, is it my
My
birthday?
question
Or are
is,
you
how
just
can decision making affect someone's future career?
as the ultimate driver? Think of your career as a series of course corrections. Those early decisions, like what you study or who you network with, set the initial direction. But the decisions you make midstream, like taking a risky project or switching paths entirely, are what actually define the trajectory. It's less like picking the perfect first job and more about how you decide to navigate the crossroads that follow. What are you hoping to build for yourself? Since you're thinking about this from a broader perspective, what's the one part of your future you're most excited to actually steer?
The most part of
You're in a great headspace. I love the
money.
positivity. Marnie, who is
So,
that? I'm a
Maya,
little
my
lost.
next question is, when should we trust our own judgment instead of following someone else's opinion?
Who's Marnie? They just popped in out of nowhere. But to your question, I'd say trust your own judgment when the decision is tied to something only you can feel. Someone else can give you the logic, the stats, and the safe route, but they can't feel the pit in your stomach or that spark of excitement. When it's a matter of personal values or passion, a second opinion is just noise. Trust your own compass.
Thank you, Maya, for this meaningful conversation about the power of decision making. Today, I learned that decision making is not about taking the perfect choice every single time. It is about thinking carefully, understanding the consequences, controlling our emotions, learning from our mistakes, and having the tools to move forward. Every decision we make can teach us something. Some decisions may lead to success, while others may teach us valuable lessons. The important thing is to keep learning and become wiser with every experience. This conservation reminded me that our decisions today can shape the person we become tomorrow. Thank you, Maya, for helping me understand this topic better. I look forward to our next conversation and another opportunity to learn and improve. Thank you everyone for listening. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep making thoughtful decisions. Have a wonderful day. Allah Hafiz.